Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a fabulous day. Welcome back to number 3 in the series of Ark of Osiris tips. Just trying to get some knowledge out there, the things I've learned over 3 years playing on teams such as OV, winning Grand Finals Championship in Season 3 with OV, things that John Wick has taught me over the years. Just trying to get some knowledge out there. We do have a practice match firing up in about a minute here. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, we've already discussed what to do and how to get set up before the match even starts. Teleport positions when you first join the map, who should be joining first, teleport order, so on and so forth. Real quickly, shout out to Electro King in Kingdom 1916, Alliance SQ16. He is an R4 there. He has been a great assistance over the past week or so in designing some of these layouts, some of these templates, to assist with the visual quality and sexiness of the stream. So we do have a practice match that starts in about 30 seconds where I'm going to be covering what to do once we get into the map. Insatiable Desire, how that works, gathering, and a few other ticks and trips. So please stay tuned, and if you haven't already seen the first 2 videos, certainly go back and rewatch those. You may know quite a bit of stuff that I've already covered in there. A lot of it is general knowledge, but for newer players, it might help them out. For older players, you might learn something new. So we've teleported into the map. You can see that there's 2 minutes and 47 seconds yet before the battle starts. Something you can do in this time, you can place markers on structures. You can get ready to actually go out into the map, right? You can click on an open spot. You can click on March. You can go to new troops. And you can pre-select which troops are going to go there. And what does that do? Well, that saves time as soon as the match starts at 0000. That saves time in selecting, going through your presets, maybe flipping through to the red or through to the yellow. And forgive me for fumbling words this morning. It is 3 o'clock in the morning here where I'm at when I'm recording this, so still a bit groggy. But yeah, get all set up, get ready to go. Sure, you can't send the troops out yet, right? Because the battle hasn't started. But the next time you click on an open space or you click on a resource node to actually send your troops out, you're going to be on the right menu. You're going to be on the right set of presets. So, you can get all ready. You can get all set to go in that time. I did not pop a 50%. I did not pop a 10% defense, simply because this is a practice match. It's for demonstration purposes only. And I'm probably the only one here. But during this time, your Title R4 officers should be setting markers on the different structures so that the captains know who's got what, so that people know what to send to those structures. An example of a effective marker might be Lambo mixed. And this tells us who the captain is of that garrison and what type of troops people should send there, right? When we set markers, one thing that we do is the markers on the bottom are used by the team on the bottom. The markers on the top are used by the team on the top. That way we're not constantly stepping on each other's toes when we try and set markers up and using markers that are needed elsewhere on the map. And when I say bottom, that's typically the this bottom side down here. Top is the top side up here. That's just how we refer to them. So we can see 17, 15, 14, 13 seconds here. There are 2 ways to get troops out on the battlefield. Quick and easy way is to start heading to resource nodes. You can get half of this stuff all set up right before you even start. So you're sending your troops out very, very quickly. Something I recommend you do is hop through resource nodes whenever possible. Like I'm using a fast T1 cow march to go through these resource nodes to go ahead and get to that obelisk. while I'm heading over there, I'm also going to grab that outpost. And there are probably more resource nodes that I might have been able to save time on by hopping through over here. It just depends. You don't want to go out of your way to hit a resource node, but in the same aspect, if they are on your way to whatever structure you are going to, they're going to be absolutely critical in getting to a structure quickly. So now hard push, if you're using hard push in the match, it needs to be used before you tap the structure. You can see there's a 3-minute countdown timer here. If hard push was used, it knocks some time off of that, right? And using hard push now, it doesn't knock any time off of there. But if you use hard push before troops get there, it's going to knock some time off of there. You'll be able to teleport in sooner. A lot of teams opt to use hard push at the very start of the match just for that specific reason, so that people can teleport into those structures quickly. As far as teleports go, when you teleport in, be smart about it. If you're the garrison captain for the Sky Altar, or you're the garrison captain for the Shrine of War, teleport to a location that is closest to those structures. And alternatively, players who are not captains or not having troops in those structures, don't occupy those teleport spots that are closest to them. Let the garrison captains take those spots, for the simple fact that they can get to and from those structures then a little more quickly. You are going to save precious seconds just simply by teleporting smartly to this obelisk as soon as your teleports are available. So one thing about these structures and capturing these structures right away is you can see that there's a circle around these structures. The best way to capture them is to get up near that circle, right? If your troops are inside of that circle or, way far away from that circle, they're going to either have to step back if they're too close, or they're going to have to march forward if they're too far away. So get as close as you can to that structure and that circle surrounding that structure without going too far in. Now, I think I'm probably even a little close here, and we'll see in 80 seconds if my troops have to back up a half a step before they get into this Shrine of War. So typically my role is to garrison a shrine. So since we're on the bottom side of the blue team here, I'm going to do there's nobody else in this practice match, but I'll teleport as close as I possibly can to that Shrine of War. And you should have somebody on voice comms doing a countdown. Okay, bottom side can teleport in 3, 2, 1. Okay, just like so. Now, we're not going to garrison here, but I am going to send some troops to the middle for the Ark. And I'm just going to use T1s because they're quicker. So we got 12, 11, and again, your leaders should be on voice, counting down the time to when the structure's open. So we're going to see what happens here if I'm too close or not close enough. So yeah, that was close to as good as you can get. Any closer and the troops would have started circling around the building. Okay, so we've got a solid 7 minutes until the Ark spawns. During this time, obviously, you are executing the game plan that your leaders have in place. What I do want to do real quickly is show you some gathering mechanics here. So we are going to find a level 2 resource node. Going to send some gatherers out there, and we're just going to use the T1 sieges. Where's a level 3? Goodness. There's a level 3 over there. Okay. So some people argue, maybe cavalry's better to use when gathering. It's a little bit faster on the field. I find T1 sieges are just as quick as my T4, T5 cavalry. Now, if you have T1 cavalries, obviously those would be quicker. But now let's see, once we get in here, how long it takes. Okay, so... Okay, it doesn't give us a time. Does it over here? Yeah. 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes and 45 seconds to gather a level 2 node. So let's look at a level 1 node. Two minutes and 48 seconds. So it takes the exact same amount of time to gather a level 1 as it does to gather a level 2. And it would take the exact same amount of time to gather a level 3 node. So even if it takes you a few extra seconds to get to a level 3 or get to a level 2 node, it's going to be beneficial in the long term because it takes the exact same amount of time to gather more resources. 100 for a level 3, 50 for a level 1, 75 for a level 2. Okay. Now, knowing that it takes, 2 minutes and 48 seconds to gather a node, let's get into that node and let's pop Insatiable Desire once we're in there. Okay, so we're in that level 3 node, and you can see once again 2 minutes 47, 2 minutes 48 seconds. Let's pop Insatiable Desire and see if that time changes. Damn, that time doesn't change. Well, why is that? It's because your troops are already in the node before the skill has been popped. What you got to do is exit the node and go back in the node. And we can see it drops down considerably. Okay. Insatiable Desire increases the speed of all caravan visits by 50% for 5 minutes. Okay, so you want to, once that's popped, you want to go out and you want to go back in to get that buff. If you don't do that, you're not going to take full benefit of using that skill. And you should possibly have 1, maybe 2 people assigned to gathering. At times, the call may go out. Everybody gather. But if you have troops that are waiting to reinforce structures, let's just say these troops here are waiting to reinforce this Shrine of War, put them in a resource node that's close by. You might as well be gathering something if you are waiting to reinforce a structure. These troops are waiting to pick up an Ark in 3 minutes. Get in a resource node. Get one or two resources in your march. Every little bit helps. It could be the difference at the end of the match between winning and losing. If you die in a resource node, those resources are gone. So if your farmers are getting attacked in a resource node, make sure and pull them out and make sure they die before or outside of the node so that you still get those resources once your troops get back to the city. That's also a quick way to get your troops back to the city because dead troops march home a lot quicker, right? Now, as far as grabbing the Ark, my suggestion would be that you have players who are using iPads or Android tablets or phones be the Ark gatherers. And why is that? Because they can use 2 fingers. They can use a finger in the upper left to click on the Ark and a finger in the upper right then to assign, which commander is going to grab that Ark. Unlike PC version where you're clicking on one side of your screen and then moving your cursor all the way to the other side of the screen. Now you can, of course, drag and drop also. But when there's animations and huge ass middle battles going on in the center, it's very hard to drag and drop right on that Temple of Osiris as soon as it opens up. Now, similarly, we don't see a circle around this temple, but there is an imaginary circle there, much like we saw when we were looking at the Shrine of War here earlier, right? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that, okay, where does that circle start? And that circle generally starts where your troops start going around the temple, right? So just like that shrine, when we capture the shrine, you want to make sure and position yourself accordingly so that you're not too far out, so that you're not too close up. So right at the point where you think your troops are going to start going around the middle is where you stop. Okay, now I'm no expert at this. I was never a Ark carrier, but this comes straight from the man himself, John Wick. So now that we're positioned here, and it might be a good idea to sit back, hang back, depending on how large the fight is in the middle, hang back until okay, it's going to take me 30 seconds to get to the middle. This has 32 seconds before it spawns. And always pick up the Ark on your own side of the map. You pick it up on the enemy side of the map, you have a good 4 to 7 to 10 seconds where you have to go around the structure to get back to your side of the map. And every single second in the middle fight matters. Sometimes it's not about capturing the Ark itself. It's about delaying the enemy from capturing the Ark. It's about just matriculating that Ark down the field. Now you can see my troops didn't have to step back to go to grab that Ark, and they didn't have to go forward by a lot to even start that countdown timer. Once you have the Ark, obviously there's a variety of skills that can be used depending upon the skills your alliance leaders set up when they enter the match. Things like swift stride, things that help your march speed. It's entirely up to your leaders of your alliance and the strategy you guys have in place as to exactly where you deliver the Ark. I never suggest taking Arks to outposts. Sure, it might be the shortest distance to anything, but at the same time, it is the weakest structure on the map. The enemy can take it very easily. I remember in our last Ark match in PK, the enemy grabbed the Ark and they started running back to the outpost of Iset. Well, we rallied the outpost, we got some troops downfield quickly, we captured the outpost, we snagged the Ark, probably somewhere right around this resource node here, and we delivered it ourselves to their own outpost that we had captured. So there are advantages and disadvantages, right? This is also a greater distance away from your cities than is a shrine, one of these interior buildings, the shrine here on this side or the altar on this side. That said, the shrine and the altars are in contention quite a bit of the time, especially if the opposing team sees that they're losing the Ark. They're going to switch to their structure game. So this shrine might be under heavy fire by the time you get the Ark back near it. So I always recommend going back to one of your friendly cities or to the Obelisk itself and delivering the Ark to a city. Now, when you deliver the Ark is a huge thing as well. You don't want to deliver the Ark when you have a ton of half-dead troops on the field, or when you have when you're losing the structure game. So as soon as you deliver this Ark, the timer for the next Ark resets, and you have 8 minutes then until the next Ark respawns. So you want to make sure that the Ark is delivered in a time that's advantageous for your team. Once you have evened up the structure game, or once you're a positive in the structure game, once you have that timing down to where, okay, it's going to take 8 minutes for the next Ark to spawn. We have time to do one rally here, one rally here, one rally here, and kill off our troops so we can send our troops back to the middle for the next Ark fight. The last thing you want to do is have half-dead marches that have just captured this desert altar going to the middle for an arc fight when all it's going to take is a couple YSG hits and they're dead and going home. It's always advantageous and in your best interest to bring fresh marches to the middle. It depends on the match, and it depends on where we are sitting with structures, but generally around 4 minutes 30 seconds, we call out, okay, fresh troops, send them to the middle. The arc spawns in X minutes, right? That way players know, okay, instead of using my extra open field marches to push structures, defend structures, as soon as those open field marches are refreshed, I should be sending them to the middle, because the next arc fight is about to take place. That's really all I had for today. I hope this series is helpful for you. If it is, and you have new players on your team, please share it with them. If it is, please drop a like button. You can subscribe to the channel as well. I'd be much appreciative of that. There is a Discord location in the bottom right hand corner of the screen as well. If you have any questions on anything here today, any other questions, hit me up on Discord. If I can't answer them, surely there is somebody smarter than me that we can get answers from. So with that said, I thank you once again for tuning in. Stay tuned next week for week number 4. Thank you much. Have a good one.